I've got to say, it was such a thrill to rewatch the original and then the sequel back to back.
Yeah, that's a good one about you.
I want a woman that's going to arouse my intellect as well as my loins.
Where will you find such a woman?
In America.
I think that we captured the spirit of the first movie, so it's really good if you watch it back to back.
Prepare the royal jet. We are going back to America.
Oh, hell no, Your Majesty.
When was the last time before production began on the sequel that you'd seen the original?
You know, the original is on TV all the time here. It's kind of like a cult movie here. So they play it all the time on MTV or VH1. One of them on Christmas, they played it 24 hours straight. You know, on Halloween, people get dressed up as characters from the movie, and so it's kind of it's around all the time. So I see it. It's one of those movies, if I'm flipping through the channel, you know, and certain movies you stop, and if I see that, I'll stop and watch, you know, 10, 15, see what scene it's in, and you might watch 15 minutes.
Just let your soul go. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul, baby.
There must be certain standout scenes that fans talk to you about, whether it's, I don't know, when you think of Garbage, think of Akeem.
When you think of Garbage, think of Akeem.
What do people tend to bring up when they talk to you?
Not to me, but from the movie, that sexual chocolate, little lines from the movie got into the culture. People use sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate. They play so fine, don't you agree? I believe the children are our future. Thank you. Teach them well and let them lead the way.
And the most popular thing is the mic drop. People do the mic drop now when they make a point and drop the mic.
Obama.
The very first mic drop is Randy Watson in the Coming to America.
I was doing so much research on the films because obviously I was speaking to you today and seeing that obviously in Gold Digger, you know, Kanye West's song.
He got that ambition, baby. Look at his ass. This week he mopping floors. Next week is the fries.
It quotes the movie, right?
See, I'm washing lettuce. Soon I'll be on fries.
It's just everywhere. Like there was a pop-up version of McDowell's in 2018 in LA. Did you see that?
Yeah, absolutely. I see all of that stuff. And there's a basketball sensation in Milwaukee, the Greek Freak, his name is. And he has his sneakers, Coming to America sneakers. And it's like I said, Coming to America, of all the movies that I've done, maybe I've done 45, 50 movies in the last 4 years, Coming to America is the only one that became this cult movie that, you know, lasted throughout the ages. It's on TV all the time. All new generations know it and watch it. And it's just became one of those movies.
When you were going, right, we're going to do a sequel, did you happen to go through the mementos that you kept from the first film? Because I'm just hoping you had a Zamundan coin.
Here's New York, tails Los Angeles.
Maybe a banknote with your face on it. You know, the Employee of the Month sign, perhaps.
The only thing I have is the coin printed.
We go to New York.
And I had some banknotes but I don't know what happened to them.
So the first one obviously was shot in Brooklyn and in Queens, and it was freezing, absolutely freezing. I get the impression this one was just a little bit warmer, right?
Yeah, we shot in Atlanta at Tyler Perry Studios and Rick Ross at his house in backyard.
What? Hashtag family.
That's the last surprise.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, what's up, fam?
Rick Ross, the rapper, his house is so enormous that he let us use his house, rent his house, and to make the castle. And we made it looks like a castle on the inside. It's Rick Ross's house.
Presenting King Akeem's son from America.
And my mom's.
And his mom's.
Even in the backyard, where there's a scene where we're walking through and you see antelope running and all that shit, that's Rick Ross's yard.
I was thinking, I absolutely loved your Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee conversation with Jerry Seinfeld. It's amazing. You don't need me to say that. But it proved to me just how good your memory is.
You remember the name of the Chinese restaurant gig we did in Jersey?
The Jade Fountain. The Jade Fountain.
That's crazy.
Except you're willing to forget how much effort it is to put that makeup on.
I've just discovered that I may have a son here in this land. How much child support is she getting from? The king pays no child support.
No child support for 30 years and you came back? You was a dummy.
I don't forget, and every time I do it, I say that's the last time. I'm never doing this shit ever again. Every time I do it.
Who was your star in that picture?
She says, young guy named Eddie Murphy, I think it is.
Oh, Christ, I hate him.
And then something, I'll get an idea, and oh shit, where's the makeup chair? And I wind up sitting in a chair. But I never forget, and it never gets any easier. The process didn't get any easier on Coming to America than on Nutty Professor or the first. It's like it's still 6 hours in the chair. Put it on, and an hour and a half to take it off after everybody left. At the end of the day, you had this shit glued on your face for 12 hours, and then you had to go and sit and have them peel it off for an hour. And it is work, and it's drudgery.
Pound for pound, Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest fighter ever lived.
Oh, come on, man. What about Joe Louis?
The Brown Bomber. Now that was a great boxer.
It's even kind of thankless because the audience doesn't appreciate it. The audience, if it's really, really, really done right, the audience doesn't think, oh, it's a makeup, how much work. They just sit, they watch it, and they accept, and they get the laugh. But they're not even seeing all the work that goes into it. So it's kind of like, you kind of take it for granted, you know. A perfect example of that is when I did Nutty Professor.
Oh, this is so fabulous. Ain't nothing like getting together with family and having a good meal.
It's a scene where, you know, I'm everybody all around the table and it's setting these makeups for hours and hours. It takes, 3 hours to shoot a sequence. But I get an Oscar nomination for DreamGirls for one little moment. Scene where, I gave a personal look and all the critics was like, oh, that look that he gave, he should be nominated for that. It's like, they take for granted all that other stuff, They take for granted, he's just being funny. But it's rewarding afterwards when you get a reaction. My favorite thing of all is to do a character in a movie and the audience watches it and somebody doesn't know that it's me as the character, and they'll watch the whole movie, and then afterwards somebody says, hey, he was that old lady, and they'll be, what do you mean? He said, no, he's the old lady, and then, no, he can't. They have to go watch. That's my favorite.
Don't tell him I'll cover your plate. Don't, not tonight, Cletus. I'll kick your ass.
Oh, that the old Jewish guy in the barbershop? That was him. It was like, what?
Well.
I remember after we did the first Coming to America, we went to the after party, and Jesse Jackson, the politician, he was there, and he comes over. He said, I just want to say, I think it's a wonderful thing that you reached back and you gave some of the older black actors a shot, because these guys are going to have careers now, those guys in the barbershop. And I was like, motherfucker, that was me. He was like, what? Now I got to go see the movie again. I can't believe it.
I've got a few wrap-up questions, if you don't mind. When fans do spot you in the street, when you do get recognized or people come up and talk to you, what do they most likely say?
You really got 10 kids? That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids, man. Yeah, man, they tell me you have 10, and they're 10. Now, you don't really have 10. I say, yes, 10. 10?
And you're like, yeah, thank you. Appreciate you taking the time. Amazing.
That's how they recognize you from the crowd. You don't go, then it's Eddie Murphy. You go, hey, there go that guy with 10 kids.
I'll leave you with this. What has Eddie Murphy been watching lately? Like, everyone's going to be crowding around the TVs to watch Coming to America. We know that. But what have you been watching lately over the past year?
What I watch almost every other day.
Sure.
You ever see a show called Ridiculousness? Ridiculousness, for me, is the perfect microcosm of the world. Guilty pleasure, you want mindless, pop it on and watch it. You see people running into walls and falling down the steps and never gets old, and it's all around the world. It's not just, people. It's like from all around the world, they show you all this different stuff, and it's like, well, what's going on? It's like, this is what's going on.
Happy birthday, ding dong.
Everywhere, people are running into walls and falling out of things and stepping in shit and getting hit, but all that, it's all in a half hour. You see, you go all around the globe, and it's a total guilty pleasure that I watch all the time. And the cast, those guys, they make me laugh. The host and the funny show.
Did he pee himself? Like, is that a stain on his pants right there? He already pissed his pants. He pissed his pants.
So I have to admit, that's what I watch the most.
I love it.
Doesn't get old. This does not get old.
A lot of people have been coming up with answers that are trying to sound like impressive or like trying to sound cool. That's the most true, perfect answer I've had. So I thank you for it. I appreciate it, Eddie.
Yeah, man.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too,
Thank you so much.
All right now.
Cheers, dude.
Coming to America, now it's coming to me.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to keep up to date. You can listen to my Radio 1 movies and TV podcast, Screen Time, on BBC Sounds. And you can find these interviews in full on BBC iPlayer by searching Movies with Ali Plumb.